In my previous video, I explored the popular fan theory of a Shepard clone returning for the next Mass Effect game to be our new protagonist. And today I wanted to explore an even more popular fan theory, Liara and Shepard's child. We all know Shepard already had a son.
I love you, Grunt.
But this theory is about Liara having Shepard's child who would be our protagonist in the next game. So let's do a deep dive into the possibility of playing as Shepard's child/descendant. Now this is a theory that I see a lot, probably more so than the Shepard clone theory, and I wanted to look a bit more into this and see if it is plausible. And sure, with good writing, anything is possible, but this theory might be even more convoluted than the possibility of a clone. The biggest problem with this theory is that we, the players, played through the last few years of Shepard's life. So when conceiving a child was even possible, it would have been a choice that we would have made as our Shepard. When we mind melded with Liara, we were present as a player during all of these instances. And there isn't a ton of information as to how exactly Asari reproduction works, but it's safe to assume that every instance of mind melding will not result in a child, or else we would have already had one after Mass Effect 1. I, along with many other fans, would be upset if BioWare pushed a major choice on us like this. Whether it was Shepard's direct child or a descendant, if Shepard was able to have a child, we should have been allowed to make that choice. The second part of this problem is that not everyone romanced Liara. I did, and even I don't want BioWare to canonize a choice like this. And anyone who romanced someone else would have had Liara forced upon them, negating any choices they made with their own romance. In Garrus's romance, him and Shepard talk about adopting Krogan babies after the war. And with so much time passing after Mass Effect 3's release, and people having all the time to develop their own headcanons, I can't see BioWare overriding something that was part of such a personal journey of each player's Shepard. I also have to say that the idea of Shepard dying and not even knowing that they had this child would really sadden me. Shepard sacrificed everything for everyone else, and they would have had sacrifice being a parent without even knowing it. The end of Mass Effect 3 is still so sad. This added loss to it would just be another thing that upset me about the ending. There would also be backlash from people who didn't even want their Shepard to have a child, or even people who don't like Liara. In general, I think it would just be extremely weird to start a game in BioWare being like, oh hey, remember when your Shepard was alive? Well, surprise, Liara secretly had a child with Shepard's DNA and never told Shepard. I don't know, that sounds like a very bad soap opera to me. Maybe some people would enjoy this as a plot, but I think it feels too forced and too inserted after the fact. Liara also looks like she could possibly be in her matriarch stage in the trailer, especially because of her darker clothing and possible aging. But during the trilogy, she was considered very young for an Asari and had not even entered her matron stage, which begins around age 350. So I feel like Liara secretly taking Shepard's DNA during that mind meld before the final battle and having a secret baby during the middle of a war while she's still very young for an Asari feels like an absolute reach. Why would Liara have done this in the first place? If she was worried about Shepard dying, why would she have done this in secret? And what would have been her plan afterwards? To just have a secret child without telling anybody? Imagine Liara having to explain to a Shepard love interest that even though they were dating Shepard, Liara just decided to have a baby without consulting either them or Shepard. I don't buy it. It doesn't make sense for the narrative of Mass Effect 3's ending or timeline, and I also just don't see Liara doing something like that behind Shepard's back. It would feel really dishonest. Another major issue with this is if Liara and Shepard had a child, it would be another Asari. This would remove any character customization and any ability to create our own character entirely. This is something I absolutely cannot see BioWare doing. Character customization has always been a major staple of their role-playing experience. And like I mentioned in my previous video, I don't know how realistic it is to expect Shepard to come back at all. All the evidence points to it not being possible, in my opinion. And this is from someone who actually wants Shepard to come back. I would love to see my Shepard, and I would love to hear Jennifer Hale again, but I just don't realistically see a way that they can following the events of Mass Effect 3's ending, especially without bringing back every companion as well. And I truly think that if BioWare is that desperate to hold on to Shepard like that, there are better ways than creating a character that would inevitably live in Shepard's shadow. That is already an issue with aspects of Andromeda, where Ryder does the Shepard shuffle, and BioWare using a lot of N7 Shepard nostalgia to market Andromeda. And I think ultimately it worked against the game. Andromeda both tried to move on from Shepard while constantly reminding you of them. And if Shepard isn't the protagonist in the next game, then the next protagonist shouldn't be set up for failure by being reminded of Shepard in a way that doesn't let the new protagonist thrive as their own character. Shepard having a child, a little Shepard Jr., would absolutely be in Shepard's shadow. And I've seen people talk about a plot that would specifically involve Shepard's child living in the shadow of Shepard, and I think that as a plot that would not make sense for a new game. Fans have to realize that hardcore fans are not the majority. New fans are. New fans are a major demographic that this game will market to, and if someone has not played the original trilogy, why would they feel connected to a storyline where your character is living in the shadow of a character you don't know anything about? Sure, I guess if BioWare wrote it well enough, I could probably be invested in any plot, but what would be the point of this, aside from nostalgia? If they're going through extreme lengths to make us relive Shepard's heroism and greatness, then I'd rather they just canonize, destroy, and bring back Shepard. The people who want their Shepard back want their Shepard, not a clone, not a child, not a VI. Their Shepard. And if there's no realistic way and no well-written way to make it happen, I can't see BioWare holding on to Shepard this way either. They also wouldn't force a choice like this upon us either. A child growing up in the shadow of Shepard could have been an interesting plot for someone who romanced Liara and wanted to choose to have children with her. But forcing Liara's romance and intimacy onto every single player would be a terrible decision. So no, I don't see BioWare forcing a romance scenario onto us, nor do I think they would canonize something like that. And I know this is a very popular theory, and that people will disagree with me, and that is totally fine. I'm sorry if you watch this hoping I would reveal some undiscovered way that this could be a plausible possibility, because like I said, this is a popular theory. But I try to be as pragmatic as possible, while also taking into account every player's experience. And I think this is how BioWare will have to approach the next game. They will inevitably not make everyone happy, whether or not they bring back Shepard, whether an ending is canonized or not, etc. At this point, so early into reveals and development, all we can do is wait and speculate to see what BioWare does. And anything is possible. So keep holding on to your theories and keep your tinfoil hats on. We know next to nothing about the next game, and the fun part about the time that we're in is the endless speculation and wild theories. So what do you think? Do you like the idea of playing as Shepard's child or descendant? Would you be okay with your Shepard mind melding with Liara and having a baby with her, despite romancing someone else? And do you have any other theories you'd like for me to explore? Let me know in the comments, and if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more Mass Effect. Thank you for watching.